Alright, we got an iPhone 8 Plus. A smash screen. Got a replacement screen. Looks like it comes with some cables. Is that attached in there? That's the 3D touch connector, I believe. Got ourselves some fancy tools. I can't turn it off. I didn't think of this until now, to drain the battery. Got a heat gun. Did you give me a suction cup? Alright, there's a suction cup. Alright, so basically you just gotta take the pentalobe screws out. Take those screws out. And then on this phone, the cable, I think, is either on this side or this side.
I'm having some trouble with the connection.
One of these
Please
sides.
try again in a moment.
One of these sides. Okay, with the 8 Plus, you want to be careful of the screws. So you always want a container like this, where you can isolate your screws. I believe one of the screws is longer, and what you have is, these aren't the right screws. When you take off the board and stuff, some screws are longer, and if you put a long screw into a short screw hole, you dig into the circuit board and screw things up. Now, I don't know if that's true for the parts we're going to remove to do the screen, but I will see. Alright, so what I did is I took the heat gun and I heated this up all around, heated it all up all around. I had already taken out the 2 screws, and then I just went in with the X-Acto knife and pried up the screen a little bit, and then got this in and just started working around, loosening it. The hardest part was down here, and you'll see why. And I worked it, and you gotta slowly work this end, because what's going on, this end is screwed in, but on the other end you have hinges, so you gotta get those loose, and you gotta pull this way, you gotta pull this way because of those hinges, and then you'll be up, and you'll see those hinges, and there, one there, and one there. Those clip in somewhere in here. That's what holds this side of the screen in. And this is why iPods are a pain in the ass to take apart. Because an iPod doesn't use these 2 screws and that. It uses all glue. So iPods are such a pain in the ass to take apart. So annoying. So anyway, you got to be careful. This is just glue. So the cables are on that side. The cables are on your power button. You got to take this out. I don't know if you have to, but just take that out. I let the battery die, so I don't have to worry about disconnecting it. You know, I'm gonna disconnect it, but power button. That's the side these wires are on. You're gonna have to redo. This kit actually came with a thing of outer glue stickers. They're not really needed, but if you want to keep the thing watertight, you need them. But it doesn't really matter because water's going to get in there. Now, your button, you can't buy a new phone with a replacement button. I mean, you can, but this button is, I guess you'll call it SSL tied to the serial of the board. So if you replace this button with another unknown button, your touch is not going to work anymore. You're not going to be able to do fingerprinting. I don't know why they did that because it seems kind of stupid. But the fingerprint is apparently stored in the button, so I guess they didn't want you to steal someone's phone and swap the button to another button. I don't know, whatever. So anyway, now this is off. You gotta undo this cable here. So basically you gotta lift this up, and then you have to get this cable free by taking out this nut, that screw, and I believe that screw, and then the same thing over here. These two screws there. And then this screen should come up, and then when you get this up, you got to swap the button. You got to take the button portion off, swap that over to the new phone. So you got to swap all this stuff over to this new phone, and then the same thing on this side. This stuff's kind of a pain in the ass because it all like folds into each other. So you got to swap all this over to that. And you got to make sure you take off this plastic screen, etc., etc. The hardest part is wrapping that thing all up into there, I believe. Because if you do it wrong, it's going to be too thick. And then when you put your screen down, it's going to start pushing up on the screen. And this one apparently comes with a new replacement of those. I don't know why, but whatever. All right. All right, so I didn't film it, but when you're getting this button, you take off this cover, and then there's a little tab. Let's look at the other one. When you're taking off the button goes here, and then its cables go here, wrap around, come up, and then snap into this. Now you have to pull the cable up off of this, and it's glued on. It's double-sided taped on, so you need to heat this area. Heat this area, or you're gonna rip those cables. Heat the area, and then you can pry, and get it up, and then the button will fall and come through this hole. And on this side, you got to do the same thing, because all your like sensors are going into here and here, and it's glued here, taped. I mean there and here. You need to heat this area up. You need to heat this whole area up, and then pry gently. And this is still here because it came in another one. And don't forget to take your camera. Like this case didn't come with the camera piece of plastic. Don't forget to rip that out and put it in the other one. But yeah, you definitely need to heat this area to get these up without ripping them. And then when you're getting this off, you got to take off this metal frame. That's those screws there. You got to loosen the tape because it's taped down. You got to loosen the tape, and then it comes through. There's a little hole right here. The cables come through that hole, and then when you go to put it back on, you got to feed these two cables through that hole. These two cables here through that hole. And then to get this cage off, you need to take off this outer screw and this outer screw, and make sure you pay attention to the lengths. I believe these inner ones are the short ones. Don't force a screw. Don't force a long one into a short hole. Don't do it. If the thing gets resistance to screw it in, stop screwing it in. You have the wrong screw. All right, so I've got this cage back on, and these are all tiny screws. These are tiny short screws. Right here, here, and here. And now I got to start putting this cage back on. Did I put those screws in? Yeah, I put those screws in. I just got to put these cages on, and then this phone should work. Hopefully. And these buttons are weird because you push them and nothing happens. I don't know how they work. Touch sense or something. I don't know. All right. Okay, so this is all done. It was actually pretty easy. And then I need to test this. I'm not going to show exactly what I'm doing. All right, let's keep it blurry. Test the touchscreen is working all the way up. I can't let you read what numbers are on there, so I'm going to keep it blurry. See, it's reading. Touchscreens are acting all the way. I don't have the passcode, so I can't. So it's pretty simple to do an 8 plus. And I put tempered glass on there too. Now the back of this phone is all shattered too, but I'm not fixing that. I was gonna order the piece, but I couldn't find anybody that can get it to me fast. But all this is just a sheet of glass that's glued to a metal backing. It's just stupid. You just put the phone in a case and don't worry about that. The phone should be in a case anyway. Alrighty then. What just happened?
Me.
You what?
Me farted.
What?
Me farted. Me farted.
At the dinner table? Oh, man. You did what?
I farted.
Ah, woo. What about your pizza? Come on, eat up. Less farting, more eating. Okay?